So Rahm Emanuel, remember him? Obama's right-hand man. As soon as he gets in there, hey, it's nice knowing you, Obama. I'm going to go run Chicago. I'm going to be the mayor of Chicago for a while. Safe haven, right? He was a big safe haven guy for the illegal immigrants. Oh, we want to make Chicago safe land. Really? But now you're leaving. And he helped push the Obama, not library, it wasn't the presidential library, it was like a museum almost. Don't worry, taxpayer funds won't be used for this. Actually, they are used for it. A couple hundred, or I forget if it's 200 or 500 million dollars, something ridiculous. Taxpayers got to pay for it, after all. So he comes, yep, my work is done. Leave you guys with the bill, the burden. I'm leaving, I'm out. Have a nice day. Why? Because Chicago's bankruptcy is going to be coming in the near future. And he ain't going to be in charge while the bankruptcy takes place. He's going to leave now so that the next schmuck that goes in there becomes the mayor is going to get the blame. That's how that works. Zero hedge. Quick look surprised. A more likely reason Rahm Emanuel dropped out. The Chicago time bomb. Submitted by Ted Dabrowski and John Klingner of WirePoints. We may never know why Rahm Emanuel decided to drop out of Chicago mayoral race, but the media is certainly giving him a pass, of course. They say he simply dropped out, well, for fear of losing. But there's a far more likely reason than that. Emanuel is not dumb, right? He's smart. And the smart reason for leaving is glaring. He doesn't want to risk becoming Mr. Mayor bankruptcy. Chicago is a ticking time bomb, so to speak, and Emanuel is jumping ship, just in case it goes off. Don't miss that scenario too quickly. Despite his lofty intentions when he first took office, Emanuel has failed miserably to reform the city's finances. Again, simultaneously sticking more millions of dollars to the taxpayer to have to pay for this nonsensical Obama building. Well, it's not really the building they're paying for. It's the infrastructure and streets and reconfiguration of the parking lots all around there. See, so taxpayers aren't paying for the building. No, they're just paying for the streets to get redone and to accept the building. Right. Don't dismiss that scenario too quickly. Despite his lofty intentions when he first took office, Emanuel has failed miserably to reform the city's finances. Now, the risk of insolvency is rising. Chicago's financials are dire, and the city has no plan and no reserves to survive an inevitable recession. In fact, the city has barely kept its head above the water despite a decline, a decade of national economic growth. Wow. Chicago Public Schools was already at the brink of bankruptcy just 1 year ago. Rahm knows the risks of collapse are rising. He's passed property tax hikes, emptied the reserves, and employed every budget trick he can to make the numbers quote-unquote better. He's even sold off public assets, the city's future sales tax revenues, to shore up the city's finances. And yet Chicago is still junk-rated bonds, according to Moody. CPS is in even deeper junk territory, far lower than even Detroit. And that's after the state poured money in as the result of a new funding formula. Try our new and improved formula. Same as the old formula. Rahm has now known city finances will crumble when the nation's economic rally ends. He only needs to look at how the city's pension funds have done with the market's winds at their back. The S&P was up more than 3 times from 2009 to 2017, and yet the city's unfunded liabilities increased 2.75 times, multiples, over the same period. Largely the result of poor funding policies. When the stock market rally started, the city's unfunded liabilities, including those at CPS, were less than $17 billion. Today they are at $38 billion, and those numbers are based on official statistics, the rosy scenario, meaning it's probably worse than that. The pension shortfall is much larger. Moody's pegs it at $67 billion when more conservative investment return assumptions are used. What will happen when the markets reverse? 3 of the pension funds are now just one serious stock market correction away from insolvency if they're not already there. The police and fire funds are officially less than 25% funded, while the municipal fund has just 28% of the funds it needs. The city's best funded plans, which are the laborers and teachers plans, are less than 50% funded. Still worse than terrible. Crumbling cash flows for the city and residents. The probability of a full meltdown when the next recession comes has increased. Reports on the city's finances shows that especially that's true when Chicago is compared to its peer cities. The debt burden is overwhelming to both Chicagoans and the city itself. According to Joshua Rowe of the Hoover Institution, the city of Chicago's pension debts, using market-based assumptions, okay, I love the assumptions, are now 12 times pension debts the size of its annual revenues. I'm sure they'll be able. You know, I was eating today. I was at lunch, and I saw a commercial on the TV there. J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. I saw it. I was going to take a picture just for fun for a video, but it ended too quick. It was at the very end of it. J.G. Wentworth can't bail you guys out, okay? You guys are finished. I need my pension fund. 877 cash now. The pensioners are going to be so screwed. The taxpayers are going to be so pissed because, like I said, he's raised taxes. He's done everything he could do. And what's this? Chicago's pension debts, using market-based assumptions, are now 12 times the size of its revenues. There should have never been a pension, ever. There should never have been a pension, because the Roman Empire had pensions, yes, 2,000 years ago, and they couldn't afford them. They were unfunded. So what did they do? They went out warring and grabbing land and taking over places. And while they did that, the expenses kept growing. Scratching their heads, we'll expand even more. That'll fix it. Nope, made it worse. Now we've got all this war debt piled on top of the pension debt of the Roman soldiers. Same thing, work 20 years, you get a pension. Oh, great. Well, it works for the first 1 or 2 times. Everyone else gets screwed. Anyways, that's much larger than any other major city in the nation. Dallas's pension crisis is deemed one of the worst in the nation, and yet its burden is less than half of Chicago's. An even more pertinent comparison is the debt burden taxpayers face. Moody's published those numbers recently, and Chicagoans are in real trouble. Every single Chicagoan is on the hook for more than $50,000 in debts, compared to just over $30,000 in New York, $25,000 in LA. Residents in Houston, Philadelphia, and Phoenix all face burdens lower than $20,000 each. But still, does every single person you know have an additional 20, 30, 40, or 50K just laying around? Oh, I want to help my country. I want to be a proud Chicagoan in this case, or any whatever city or state you live in. I'm going to be a proud Floridian. I'm going to just give my money to, Oh, wait a minute, but you're one guy. You're one guy. Every citizen in that country, in the whole area, needs to do it. Oh. Well, in that case, Indian giver, as we like to say. Speaking of which, we made that crap up. We give Indians garbage back in the day. They give us some real stuff, and they're like, I'm not, we're not dumb. We may not be the white Europeans, but we're not dumb. Give me that back. Take this crap back. Take this blanket filled with measles back. I don't want that. Give me my pure, cowhide, whatever I made for you in exchange for this piece of garbage blanket that you put, measles and stuff, chicken pox or smallpox, whatever it was on there. No wonder why we call them Indian givers. That just means you give someone something and take it back. Yeah, because they got the crap end of the deal. That's a whole other story. You want to know something else? Speaking of Indians, I'm telling you, I can feel it, I can see it. We are going on a treasure hunt. I've been telling you about this. Not going to tell you specifically where yet. Got to keep that secret. But there's numerous states. There's history. No matter where you go, the Indians have gotten screwed one way or the other. And there's even history way back then with them getting screwed again during some of the time frame where we're looking for some of these stories about treasures. But I made a decision. I've actually kind of felt this way a long time ago when I'd see some of these treasure shows on TV, and I'd see them talking about, the Aztecs or the Incans, and they were getting chased. And they went up into what is now North America, and America really, and hid their stuff on the way. I'd watch a TV show or whatever, and I'm like, if I found that stuff, because this is old J Snip 4 trying to do it right, be right with everybody. Oh, I'm gonna keep some treasure, like for real. I'm gonna keep some treasure, but Indian reservations across the nation. Kind of rhyme. Indian reservations across the nation. You guys get a J Snip 4 bonus because I found something that kind of belongs to your ancestors, anyways. And it was stolen from somebody, from them, and then someone else stole it from that person who stole it from someone else. And it ended up here. I found it with my team. Psychic investigators. Michelle White Dove and them. And I'd like to make it up to you, even though I'm not even kind of responsible. I see what happened to you guys, and I feel like you need a little bone. J Snip style. Here you go. That's how I'm going to handle that if we find something. Not again. I'm going to keep some. In all fairness. But some Indians fixing to get hooked up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let you know another little secret while I'm on this. I'm kind of thinking, maybe I should just do a whole treasure hunt update video. I think I will, because title and all, it's not going to make sense here. I'm going to do a separate video. Anyways, I'll end this video because this is very depressing for anyone who's, whether you're the taxpayer, you're the Chicagoan who's looking at these crazy high tax bills that don't even matter. Rahm, why did you raise the taxes on everybody? It doesn't matter. 12 times the amount of debt. It doesn't matter. Why did you even do it? Why did you even do it in the first place? You should have lowered taxes and said, screw this, I'm going out with a bang. This place is collapsing anyways. I'm going to hook all y'all up, lower taxes. This thing's collapsing anyways, I'm out. That's probably how J Snip would have handled it. Guys, it's going to collapse anyways. I'm going to be real with you. Love y'all. I'd like to stay, but I can't because it's not going to be pretty. But so you can at least save a little bit right now, I'm going to lower taxes on everybody, property tax and all. And I'm going to advise you to maybe save as much as you can. And if you're a pensioner, love you, but sorry about your luck. Again, it was sorry about your luck anyways. You may have extended it a hair longer by raising taxes on everybody, but why burden everybody? Have a nice day. That's how I would have left it. Take care.